You know how you sometimes hear someone say they accidentally got a pet? It sounds a little unbelievable, right? But today we're going to dive into how that one little accident can, spiral. It's a journey that starts out super simple and somehow ends with, well, a house full of cats. Let's break down this surprisingly common thing.
So, this is where we end up. 5. Not 1, not 2, 5 cats. Right away, that's a number that just makes you stop and ask, how? It kind of suggests a whole series of interesting, maybe even questionable decisions happened along the way.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? The word accident just doesn't seem to cover a five-fold increase in your feline population. So how does a totally responsible, respectable pet owner become the leader of a small cat army completely by mistake? Let's get into it.
Okay, so every story like this has a beginning. And for the accidental cat collector, it almost always starts in this place of peaceful, manageable simplicity. It starts with just one. The number one, it's perfect, right? One food bowl, one litter box, one cat that you can spoil completely. It's this beautiful, controllable world where you feel like you have this whole pet parent thing totally locked down. And honestly, for anyone starting out, this is the golden era. It's the perfect time to build all those good habits, like getting them used to a scratching post instead of your couch. This whole idyllic scene, it's a state of mind we can call the point of control. It's that wonderful, brief period where you are the master of your domain. The fur is under control, the vet bills are predictable, life is good. But this is a dangerously stable situation, and it's usually just before things are about to get a whole lot more interesting. Because every point of control has a tipping point. And that brings us to the next phase, the cascade effect. This is that exact moment when one single decision sets off a chain reaction. And, well, there's often no turning back. It's the point where you really should pause and think, okay, do I have the space for another one? Is my budget ready for double the vet bills? And this just shows you how fast it can all happen. So year 1, you've got your perfect planned cat. Then by year 2, a stray just shows up. This is your first real test. You have to do slow introductions, a vet check first to make sure they're healthy. But then, before you even catch your breath, a bonded pair appears. Suddenly you need way more litter boxes, you know the rule, right? 1 per cat plus 1 extra. And you definitely need separate spots for them to eat to keep the peace. And for the grand finale, the classic foster fail. Just look at how that timeline gets shorter and shorter. The acceleration is real. So, how do we end up justifying all this to ourselves? Let's do a little autopsy on the accident. Turns out there are a handful of very common and very persuasive reasons we give ourselves that pave the road to a multi-cat house. And they all sound so reasonable in the moment. You see your cat staring out the window and you think, he needs a friend. Or you're at the shelter and you see a bonded pair and the guilt, you can't separate them, right? And then there's the one that just appears at your door. Each step feels so logical, but they're all leading you down the same furry path, which is often paved with the most dangerous words of all. These words right here. The famous last words of so many future multi-pet owners. I was just gonna foster. It's the ultimate gateway. It feels so noble, so temporary, and completely risk-free. Right up until that moment you realize, oh no, there's no way I can let this one go. This is the ultimate lesson in knowing your own limits before you even start. Okay, so once the dust settles, the papers are signed, what does life even look like? You have to move past all those justifications and enter a totally new phase, embracing the beautiful, furry, and let's be honest, utter chaos of your new normal. This slide just nails the shift perfectly. With 1 cat, you have a food bowl. With 5, you basically have a food investment portfolio. Those quiet afternoons, gone. Replaced by what I'd call a constant low-grade chaos. But you can manage it with things like cat trees and wall shelves to give everyone their own space. Clean floors become a distant, beautiful memory. And a good robot vacuum is your new best friend. You don't have a pet anymore. You command a small, furry militia that needs a real strategy for playtime to burn off all that energy. But here's the final twist in the story. After you accept the chaos, after you figure out how to manage it all, you start to see things a little differently. What started as a bunch of accidents starts to feel less like a mistake and a lot more like some kind of unexpected treasure. This whole thing, it deserves its own name, So we're going to call it a feline windfall. It just perfectly captures that moment you realize all those little accidents have added up to something truly wonderful, something full of immense, chaotic joy. And so we come all the way back to our number 5. But it looks different now, doesn't it? It's not a number of surprise anymore or regret. It's a number of abundance. It's a number full of stories. It's a victory.
Which brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. Maybe your number is 1, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 0, or maybe you're out there right now planning your own carefully managed feline windfall. So, what's your number?